Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel Learn to Speak Malay Like a Local. My name is Lisa, and in today's video, I will be giving you an excerpt from one of the books that I have bought for Malay lessons. So this is my Malay language section, and I do intend to make a video about all the Malay books that I bought because, as you know, I'm not a professional teacher and I need to study a lot myself to bring you all these videos. So for today, we'll just take one book because I've been meaning to do it forever, but as usual, procrastination and waiting for some sort of perfection that does not exist. This book I bought a while ago, and it has a bunch of small conversations throughout about different topics. It is called Speak Standard Malay, a beginner's guide by Dr Liaw Yock Fang. Here, that's the book for you, and I bought it in Kinokuniya for 17 ringgit 90 sen. As you can see in the book, there are short conversations in Malay on top and in English translation at the bottom. So let's do a random page, and then maybe after I do all these videos you might decide to buy some of them if you find them helpful. Okay, let's find a random page. Okay, this one's good. It's a very short conversation between two people called Zainal and Albert, and it is about hobbies and leisure, and the title is Saudara buat apa. Ooh, that's formal. Okay, since the passage is formal, I will be reading it in formal Malay first, and then later on I will be giving my comments on how we would actually speak it in conversational Malay, because as you know, the more veteran students that I have, formal Malay and spoken Malay are practically two different languages. Zainal begins the conversation by saying, Saudara Albert, apakah kegemaran saudara? Okay, all comments will come after this. Apparently, I have to make a lot of comments about this short passage. Albert, apa yang saudara maksudkan? Zainal, maksud saya, saudara buat apa pada masa lapang? Albert, oh, bermacam-macam. Zainal, misalnya? Albert, misalnya, saya membaca, menonton televisyen dan menulis surat. Zainal, menulis surat. And finally, Albert, ya, menulis surat. Menulis surat itu salah satu kegemaran saya. And if you look at the English translation over there, what are your hobbies? So kegemaran, hobbies. This is kind of weird. How do I do this? Okay, let's go line by line. Saudara is actually a very, very polite way of referring to someone. So saudara for males and saudari for females, usually adult. I don't know, but I don't see anything wrong with using it for children. Usually in conversational Malay, we don't really say saudara. We would just say the person's name, which is Albert. So we don't have any issues in Malay whether you call someone by their first name or their surname. We just call them by their first name. It does not indicate intimacy or a relationship of any sort. It's just, my first name is Lisa, you call me Lisa. There's just no meaning behind it. Instead of saying saudara Albert, apakah kegemaran saudara, I would actually say, Albert, apa hobi awak? Because like I mentioned in my previous videos, saya dan awak, they're perfectly fine in polite conversations. It's not necessarily formal, but conversational Malay is not formal. So I would say, Albert, apa hobi awak? So I would get rid of the kah because kah is super formal. The word kegemaran here, kegemaran literally means favorite, which is why in the second sentence, Albert had to clarify apa yang saudara maksudkan, which is, it's basically asking, what is your favorite, Albert? Albert, tell me what your favorite is. Like, favorite what? Favorite book, favorite music, favorite board game? No, he's asking about hobby, so say hobby. And if you don't want to say hobby, you can also say activity kegemaran. So your favorite activity to do in your free time, di masa lapang. So you can say, Albert, apa aktiviti kegemaran awak di masa lapang? Which is very long, so you can just say apa hobi awak. Everybody gets it. Apa yang saudara maksudkan? Apa yang awak maksudkan? Or apa yang Encik Zainal maksudkan if he is being extremely formal. Maksud saya, okay, I'm done speaking in formal Malay, it's very weird. Maksud saya, saudara buat apa pada masa lapang? Maksud saya is good, we do use it in conversational Malay, so I mean, awak buat apa pada masa lapang? What do you do in your free time? And Albert says, oh, bermacam-macam. So instead of say bermacam-macam, we just say, oh, macam-macam. So you get rid of the ber because this prefix usually exists in formal written Malay, so we don't really use it in conversational Malay. But if you want to be correct, there are lots of people quite annoyed with me for teaching this version of very informal Malay because they say that I am destroying the language by teaching people not to speak formally. But the thing is, nobody speaks formal Malay. Yeah, so if you want to say bermacam-macam, if you want to speak exactly the way the people in this book speaks, then more power to you. You know, I'm just trying to make your life easier. Instead of bermacam-macam, I would say, oh, macam-macam, all sorts, various. It just means various, but it is accepted that the meaning is various things. I do various things. Misalnya. Misalnya is, we don't use in daily conversation, and if you do use it, I believe, Malay people will sort of pause for a bit and think like, oh yeah, I've heard of that word before. I used it in my essays in Malay lessons. Oh, it means for example. So we don't really use misalnya, but you can, of course. It does make you sound very formal and educated. I would use contohnya, which is for example, or I would say macam apa, because Albert said, oh, macam-macam. All sorts. So I would say macam apa, which is like what. Or I would say macam, like. Or I would say, yeah, that's it. And then, misalnya saya membaca, menonton television dan menulis surat. Responding to Zainal. If Zainal says contohnya, I would say contohnya baca buku, tengok TV dan tulis surat. Or if he says macam, then I would say macam baca buku, tengok TV dan tulis surat. So as you can see, instead of membaca, I say baca buku, because if I say baca, it's sort of like hanging, so it could be reading newspaper or whatever, so just clarify it. If you're too lazy to say read newspaper and book and whatever, I would say baca macam-macam. So macam, baca macam-macam. Like I read all sorts of things. You know, it could be books and newspapers or any articles online. And then instead of menonton television, which is the correct way of saying it, but usually in conversational Malay we say tengok TV. Menonton television is very formal. Dan menulis surat. I would just say tulis surat, because in conversational Malay we mostly do away with prefixes, affixes in general. Menulis surat, tulis surat, and finally, ya, menulis surat. Yeah, I would just say ya, tulis surat. Menulis surat itu salah satu kegemaran saya. I would say tulis surat tu salah satu aktiviti kegemaran saya. Or tulis surat tu salah satu hobi saya. And that's it for one conversation. How many minutes has it been? 13 minutes. Need to cut this down. I was planning on doing another passage, but this feels a bit long already, so I'm just gonna cut it short because people keep asking me to make my videos shorter, so maybe I'll make a second video if you want. Yeah, let me know if this is useful. Oh, let's talk about the notes at the bottom. Here, Dr Liaw Yock Fang listed hobbies as melukis, and then in bracket me plus lukis. Oh, he separated the root word and the prefix, but it can be quite confusing because he's giving examples of words usually used as hobbies, like melukis, which is drawing, me plus lukis. So the root word is lukis, that's fine. But then you have menari, and me is the prefix. Nari is not the root word. The root word is tari, because there are rules on how these words transform, for which I have done some videos on prefixes, I think, but I need to go back to that. I do see this attempt of being helpful, but it's not comprehensive enough. I think if you just read this without any help from a Malay person, you would be quite confused, because there is no such word as nari. There's only tari. But when you add a prefix, it becomes menari. You don't say mentari. Mentari just means the sun, which is something different. But there are other, I saw some other notes which can be helpful at the bottom. It's just that this book would need some guidance if you were to buy it and to study from it. I don't think this is suitable for self-study. Yeah, let me know if you want to know more, or if you want me to do other books. I can do it in a different video. The sun is setting. It's already 6:30, so I think I'm gonna stop here, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye!